listen to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who was subject to an arrest warrant by the International Criminal Court on charges of war crimes and crimes against humanity.
I have a clear message for those leaders who recognize a Palestinian state after the terrible massacre on October 7th. You are giving a huge reward to terror. And I have another message for you. It will not happen. There will not be a Palestinian state west of the Jordan. For years I have prevented the establishment of this terror state against tremendous pressures, both domestic and international. We did this with determination and political wisdom. Not only that, we doubled the Jewish settlement in Judea and Samaria, and we will continue on this path. The response to the latest attempt to impose a terror state in the heart of our country, this response will be given after returning from the United States.
Giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem HaRachakodash, double honors to our apostles and elders, her great millstone, peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. So this devil here, right, he's making it known that if there's one thing that he will not do, which is to put the sword down. So, every day he's getting condemned and acknowledged by the UN and other countries that what they're doing is committing genocide, what they're doing is evil. And what really irks them is when people acknowledge, as they say, they acknowledge the Palestinian state, or they acknowledge Palestinians as people in general. You got to remember this man, Esau Edom, he's Cain in a reincarnation. And Cain was a professional victim. That's what these devils are, especially those Amalekites. They even call those hats they wear on their head victim hats, because this is what they specialize in, being the victim. So when people say free Palestine, which that's going to soon be considered offensive language, it's saying Palestinians are people, they deserve to live, they deserve to have rights. And mind you, it can be for anybody. See, the thing is, it's not saying that we care about Ishmaelites. The thing is, this is the devil here. So whoever the Lord had planted in that land, they would have ran the same slander campaign against them too. So if the Lord, instead of those Ishmaelites, those Palestinians, had, let's say Ammonites in there, they would label the Ammonites the same thing, and people would say, free the Japanese or free the Asians or whatever it is whoever's there, that's who they're going to label. So it's not like all of a sudden there's this love for Ishmaelites from our point of view. No, we're just acknowledging what the devil is using. And when you say that free Palestine or free the Palestinians, they're going to take that as, so that means you want me to be destroyed. That's how they're going to see it, these devils, because they're professional victims. That is why over here in America, pretty soon they're going to make it, consider it offensive speech to say free Palestine or free Palestinians, or they deserve to exist, they deserve to have rights, whatever it is, because that's how this devil operates. So what he said was that he's never going to put down the sword. And this is his dilemma. This is why the Lord has him in straits, you see, because these devils, the scripture says, thy pride has deceived thee. Everything that they do or plan, the Lord is showing that he's working against them. Because make no mistake, everything that happens, right, quote unquote happens, is all planned, right? This man's the left hand, his right hand is the right hand of falsehood. And as 2 Thessalonians 2 says, that man of sin be revealed, whose working is at the working of Satan with all lying wonders and deceivableness. So if you know anything about the history of America, history of Babylon, is they create enemies so that they can bring about control or gain or expansion. Say like they're really trying to milk the Hamas thing, right? But that's over with now. That's over with. And it's even found out that it's actually the state of Israel that funded Hamas. They used them in the past. You see? So when this thing happened, quote unquote happened October 7th, that was it was used as an excuse to attack. That's all it was. Because if it really just happened and they're just retaliating out of defense, they would have been put the sword down now. But they'll never stop, because they're going to keep using this enemy that they created, say like Hamas, to get what they want. So they're going to keep using Hamas no matter what. Remember, at first, it was, we got to get them. Oh, we're close. Oh, they got hostages. They got hostages. Oh, tell them the hostages. They don't even bring that up anymore. You want to know why? Because they believe that by this time that the Arab countries would have taken in those Ishmaelites, those Palestinians, and they would have taken the land by now. But it's not working that way. And they thought that the whole world would back them up and support them. But it's been going on for so long that everybody is seeing the devil for who he truly is. And they're seeing that this has nothing to do with Hamas. This has nothing to do with retaliation. Okay, this is merely you have hatred and you are greedy to expand. Just like that video of that guy explaining that they had seven countries doomed, 7 countries to take over, Iran being the last one. And even Iran said that they're going to stage another 9/11 and blame them again. See, his hand is being exposed now. So the countries, the world is acknowledging him as the wicked. And this is how he's responding. He's responding by saying, I'm not going to stop. And he even went as far as to say, we've doubled the Israeli population in Samaria, and we're going to do it in Judea, and we're going to keep going, because their goal was always expansion. It was never peace. Okay, even as an interview with a representative from the White House and the president from Egypt, second president, I believe, Abdul Gamar Nasser, in 1975, they sat down and talked, and it was all about establishing peace between the Islamic countries and the state of Israel. And even he stated back then, he said there would never be peace because you Edomites, you Israelis, you don't want peace. As long as you're going to keep talking about expansion, then there will never be peace. And the reason they want to talk about expansion is because these devils are trying to steal back the birthright, because they sold it to their brother Jacob, so now they're trying to steal it. And all it takes is to understand the scriptures to see that that's really what's happening. Okay? That's why the people in the world, they don't understand. They're like, what's the problem? Why can't y'all just, talking to those two nations over there, right? Why can't y'all just coexist? Why can't there just be peace between there? What's the problem? It's been an ongoing conflict since 1949, right? That's because they don't know this devil's true intent. His intent is to try to steal his birthright. That's what he's trying to do, and establish himself as God on the planet Earth. And he knows that that land over there is sacred in the eyes of the Lord. So that's what he's trying to do. Stamp himself as the people, take the land, take the high places, and call himself the Most High. Genesis 15 talks about Abraham's blessing that the Lord gave him, the land, right? Which was more than just the land of Jerusalem. Verse 15 and 18, he says, in that same day the Lord Yahweh made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. The Kenites and the Kenizzites and the Kadmonites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Rephaims and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Girgashites and the Jebusites. Right. And all you got to do, you could type in like Abraham's last land blessing, and you could see that the true land blessing is all between the Nile and the Euphrates. So it's really that whole landmass over there. It's not just the land of Jerusalem. And this is what this devil wanted. I think he even quoted it in one of his little last quotes up there. He basically said they're trying to get this blessing. They're trying to get this here. So to get it, it involves expansion. That's why he said we doubled our population in Samaria, and we're going to do it here, and we're going to keep going, and we're not going to stop. Because this is what he wants. You see, but the Lord is working against him. The Lord is working against him. Now, let's look up Albert Pike. Okay, Elder Apostle Gabar was the first one that I heard mention his name and explain about Albert Pike. So if you look up Albert Pike, right, he was a Israeli. In 1871, he wrote about 3 world wars, planned world wars, right? It says Albert Pike received a vision, which he described in a letter that he wrote to Mazzini Dated August 15, 1871, the letter graphically outlines plans for 3 world wars that were seen as necessary to bring about one world order, and we can marvel at how accurately it has predicted events that have already taken place. Well, first of all, it's already written in the scriptures. Okay, John the Revelator actually already saw it, and he already read about it. It's already written in the prophecy that World War would happen. 3 world wars. Revelation 9 and 12. 1 woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes hereafter. The word woe means war. And John the Revelator, especially Revelation 9, he spoke about World War I. So it was really already prophesied, right? But nonetheless, if you go down, this is about to bring the new world order, right? It's just like if you was to ask somebody on the back of American dollar, what does the 1776 represent? They would say, oh, that's when the Americas had gotten liberation from Britain. But actually, for one, you never did. Actually, you're still a slave to Britain. It's in our writing. That's why the people in America, no leader in America can call himself a king or a prince or anything like that, because they're under Britain. But the 1776 is actually when the Illuminati was formed, and that's when they put it on the back of the American dollar, which is what, out of many one, and Nuevos Order, New World Order on the back, and our enterprise will succeed or something like that. It's on the back of the dollar because they've already planned this, and the goal is what? New World Order. The scriptures tell you in Revelation 13 that that's what the image of the beast is. That's what the image of the beast is, which is the Roman system back in full effect. And then they're going to implement a mark, that mark being the RFID microchip. This is what they want. So you got to know that this devil does things. Stuff doesn't just happen. Like, more information is coming out with that whole Captain Kirk situation, him and his wife, and how her and Trump already had ties a long time ago. She done been to the islands and everything like that. Heck, people even found out that an old movie with Nicolas Cage, I think it's called Snake Eyes, his name was Kirk or something like that, and he ended up getting shot in the neck or something like that. So people connecting the dots. So I mean, that right there should tell you that it was all set up. It was all set up. I believe that Captain Kirk guy is chilling on an island somewhere. Chilling on the Epstein Island or in Switzerland, chilling, right? Or if he is taken out, then they use him as a sacrifice. But nothing just happens, you understand? And the people were finding out. So this devil, he's losing his strength, because that's the point I want to say. He's losing his strength. And that's why that devil, Satan, not a real Jew, Benjamin Satan, not a real Jew, he's in a very bad predicament. Very bad predicament, because if he's saying he's not going to stop, right, what's that going to result in? More wrath. So if you jump down to the Third World War, right? So check this out. This is what he wrote, okay? He says the Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences by the agenter of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam and political Zionism mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economic exhaustion. And I'll just get to the last point, because here's the point. They want the Christianity to be destroyed and all this other stuff. But here's the point at the last sentence here. It says this manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. So their goal is to essentially wipe out what they would consider religion, and all that would be left is their way, because again, you can't have faith coming into this new world order that they want to establish. They want it all to be completely eradicated, so people would just only know one way of living, which is to submit to the powers that be and the image of the beast. So you see all this, when this stuff happens, just know it's So here's the point. Nothing just happens. You understand? When these devils do things and using, Hamas this and Hamas that, just know it's all set up. They're trying to finish out a goal that they want to see, which is the New World Order. But here's the point, okay? He's in a very bad bind because he's not going to achieve what he's trying to achieve. So what's all that's left? What's all that's left? You see, this is how you know he's going to come down with wrath upon the whole world, because his time is up. He's over with. Things aren't going according to their plan. Ezekiel 36. Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, because the enemy have said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. And what do you think he's talking about? Our land. Because that's how he's thinking. He's thinking this is our land forever. Yeah, we're not losing it. You know, we will not stop. We will not put down the sword. There will not, when he says there will never be a Palestinian state, he means we ain't putting down the sword. We're going to keep attacking and attacking and attacking. That's going to be ours. We're going to keep killing. We're going to keep spreading, keep shooting. We're going to keep doing whatever we got to do. Right? Because they're not, and look, doing what they would call a ceasefire is them admitting defeat. They can't do that. Okay? Because if they do that, then they have to find an excuse to attack again. And they're not about to go through that because they didn't think that it would get this far, because they're going basically almost 2 years in of nonstop killing, and it's not working. He's nowhere near close to that actual blessing. You see, so all these rituals they performing this past few weeks, proudly boasting about what they're going to do, and this land is ours forever. We're going to keep expanding all these things. That's coming from a position of a cornered, sore loser who refused to admit that the Lord is against him. He's just going to keep boasting even more. Verse 3, it says, therefore prophesy and say, thus said the Lord Yahweh, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. Thus said the Lord Yahweh to the mountains, and to the hills, to the rivers, and to the valleys, and to the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken, because which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Therefore, thus said the Lord Yahweh. So this is the message the Lord wants us to take and to give. Here we are, the Israelites. We're in the land of our captivity. To the world, we're just a prey. We're being slandered. Concentration camps are being established to put us back in slavery. All the while, the devil is in our land that he stole. He's killing relentlessly, and he's boasting in his might and his power and his might, saying that I will not stop. I will not be moved. We will not stop what we're doing. We will keep expanding. So this is a message of the Lord, from the Lord. He says, therefore, thus said the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which are the Edomites, okay, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. That's these Edomites. They are trying to appoint the Lord's land into their possession, and rejoice and say, we're going to keep expanding. We ain't putting down the sword. We're going to keep going. We will not stop. Right? These Edomites. He says what? Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel, and say unto the mountains, and to the hills, and to the rivers, and the valleys, thus said the Lord Yahweh, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because ye have borne the shame of the heathen. Therefore, thus said the Lord Yahweh, I have lifted up my hand. Surely the heathen that are round about you, they shall bear their shame. This is why the Lord is bringing judgment to them. This is why they aren't succeeding. Look, as that war continues, that onslaught, that murder, that genocide, I'm going to use those words, their economy is shit. The people are leaving that country. They don't feel safe. They don't have any workers. Look, their own people Okay, their own people, you probably seen that their own people went before them and like threw all those psych meds and painkillers on the table, all the medications, because they're losing their they can't sustain themselves. All that killing, all that war is just nonstop, and all they're being told is to take these psycho meds, take these painkiller meds. So even their own armies are failing because they want to stop, but they can't stop. Okay, they can't stop. And as it continues to drag on, the excuse, the quote unquote excuse, oh, Hamas, dangerous, terrorist, nobody's behind it anymore. So their army is being depleting. They're losing. They already lost favor with the world. Their own people are saying, look, we can't keep doing this. Okay. The Lord is against them, and he's stopping them on every corner because they're saying in their heart, this land is ours and we're going to expand it. The Lord has put them into a halt. But as you can see, the more and more he gets backed into a corner, the more proud and boastful he speaks. So you would think that the devil would just give up, but that's nothing he's not going to do. Just admitting putting down the sword or saying you're going to put down the sword, that's an admit of defeat. And this devil will not admit defeat. And that's why the Lord said that the whole world is going to feel the wrath of this man here, Esau Edom, a man who will not accept that he's at his defeat, a man who will not accept that he had his reign and that now he's second place. He will not accept that. So guess what's about to happen to the whole world? They're about to feel wrath. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he had but a short time. Even these average Joe Edomites that want to fight against Jake, because they can feel that their country is going down. So they're like, well, let's just take our anger out on Jake. That's why this is such an exciting time. I'm happy as have I ever been to see these devils just fall, collapse. They're speaking proud, boastful things more and more because they know that they're losing. So it's like the more they talk shit, they don't even have the evidence to back up that they're actually succeeding. They're just boasting about what they're going to do and what they're not going to stop, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And America's going to be the greatest country. We're going to bring this back, But all the evidence is pointing that you are going down. So what's left? Great wrath, silence, taking down channels. Because they can't stop the world from condemning them, but they can at least control over here in America, Babylon, what we can. We'll at least punish you. We'll fire you. We'll take down your channels. We'll punish you if you speak against it. We can at least stop you. You can't stop the world, but we can at least come down with you on you. You see. So this is why the Lord spoke these words against these Idumeans, and we're supposed to bring these scriptures out to let them know the Lord is against thee, and he will bring you down. And the more you speak about taking our land in your possession, the more the Lord's gonna, as he said, I'm a light a fire around about you. So he's against you. And the more you speak proud, man, the more pleasure he takes in bringing you down, man. We are witnessing the downfall of the wicked. Shalom.